One of the, well, big concerns, shall we say, about the Brexiteers was flouting around and touting in, of course, 2016 was that the car manufacturing industry in the UK after Brexit was going to flourish. Don't worry, these manufacturers won't go to Europe. They'll stay here because it'll be wonderful. It'll all be sunshine and roses. That, of course, hasn't really turned out that way. The Nissan plant, which, by the way, also partly owned by Renault, which, again, the French government owns a substantial amount of, was actually paid a massive amount of money to, well, essentially stay. Where others, the other, shall we say, the non Honda one down in Swindon, down south, basically had to end production because it was not, shall we say, as politically important as the one up in Sunderland near Newcastle was. So, unfortunately, one got the money, one didn't. A load of jobs lost there. But obviously, continuing on there has been lots of talk about, well, what do these car industries do next? Like I say, many of these car industries relied on a just-in-time delivery system, meaning that you, rather than have parts in a warehouse, you order a part to time it when the car is on the assembly line, so it comes off, the part is made, comes through wherever it goes through, and then arrives at exactly the right time so it can take it literally off the van or off the truck, straight, bang, put into the car. That is essentially a just-in-time delivery system in a nutshell. Now, of course, because of, again, Brexit, and of course, you've seen the queues, that is now very much in jeopardy. Very much in jeopardy. And, of course, the Conservatives' big idea of levelling up, if it had played out as Boris sort of wanted to, we would have seen a mass increase and mass boost and investment from the government into car manufacturing plants. But of course, we haven't seen that, except Nissan got the nice gift. Please stay, or else it makes it's very bad from us from a Brexit point of view. But we've now got other problems because it looks like another company is now potentially looking towards Europe to get their car parts, and that could signal another big collapse in UK car manufacturing. So, as always, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and an off-station link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much to all those people who do help and support the channel that way. So let's go diving into this then, shall we? This comes from Bloomberg UK, with the title of UK risks car collapse as Jaguar Land Rover looks elsewhere for batteries. Almost a decade after playing home to Europe's first mass-produced electric car, the UK is at risk of becoming a footnote in the global auto industry's shift to battery-powered vehicles. And of course, as we said all the time, even back in 2016 and since then, this is what the risk the UK will happen unless you give companies a serious reason to stay, which the Conservatives haven't, even though that's what the Brexiteers said. We'll do Brexit. Oh, it's the reason for them to all stay, but it hasn't really turned out that way. Anyway, it continues. The UK lacks the cell and pack factories automakers will need to support their transition away from the internal combustion engine. In what could be a fresh blow to British car manufacturing, the country's top auto manufacturer, Jaguar Land Rover, is in talks with Northvolt AB and SVolt Energy Technology Co. about supplying batteries for a range of EVs that may be assembled in Slovakia. And according to people familiar with the matter, and unless battery investment picks up, car makers may only be able to accelerate the exodus from what once was the world's second biggest auto manufacturing base. In the last few years, the UK has fell outside the top 15. And I wonder what has accelerated that. Of course, we all know what it is. It's Brexit. Are we surprised about this? No. we really shouldn't be surprised about this at all. This was what was long predicted. It was long predicted that this would be the case. And there are going to be communities, especially communities that are focused around these big factories. And not only just that, we've said before, sometimes it's not just the fact that a big company goes, it's smaller, medium-sized companies that also end up losing out as well. And that is ultimately what we could see. You could see a big factory go, but then like maybe 5 or 6 other maybe small to medium-sized businesses, maybe they end up going as well because they were getting jobs from that factory, supplying them with parts and bits and pieces that they needed to run. If it's, and that could be a couple of hundred jobs. These plants to employ a couple of thousand people sometimes, or so not everyone's going to get maybe moved to a different plant in the UK, if even that can be accommodated, of course. But ultimately, potentially won't be. But you're looking at hundreds of job losses in some of these areas, and that will be devastating to a local economy. Because can a local economy maybe absorb the job losses of about 700-800 workers? Depends on what the job market of that area is. Not to say, obviously, the manufacturing skill that some of those people have, might not be able to be translated to maybe some of these other jobs in that area. If, let's say, a Jaguar Land Rover factory goes, where is there another car plant around they can work from? This is what we often talk about the serious economic consequences of Brexit. It comes down to there has been no long-term thinking about how this Brexit actually might affect the UK, what the government intends to do to make sure things like this don't happen. There's been no forethought at all. Brexit was always just this idea of, we do Brexit, it'll be good. How it will be good, we don't know. Why it will be good, we can't tell you. It'll just be good. Trust us. But in the meantime, let's just deregulate everything and make it a complete free market economy. And of course, you've got people, again, like Jacob Rees-Mogg, who basically say, look, if we lower our tariffs to zero, the entire world will follow us and do the same. No, they won't. We did that before, back in the 1800s. It lasted 6 years. It was a colossal failure. And it was seen as one of the biggest failures of, at that time, the Austrian School of Economics, that were trying to push this whole idea of free market fundamentalism. But we're back here again. How and what is going to cause the big failure of it this time, we don't know. Obviously, back in the 1800s, it was the US selling loads and loads of really cheap corn and wheat that was putting a lot of British farmers basically out of business. They couldn't compete against it. So who knows? Maybe history might repeat itself in a very bizarre way. Who can say? But as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.